Hello YouTubers, today's video is a look at the Loaded Cannon Distillery in Bradenton, Florida. The distillery is located at 3115 Lakewood Ranch Boulevard, Suite 110 in Bradenton, Florida. Before starting the tour, we were given a brief explanation of the wall hangings and awards that the distillery has received.
Silver for our strawberry vodka, and the bronze is for our barrel-aged gin from People's Choice Awards.
Okay.
So that's people voting for us again.
Okay, so the gold medal is for the jalapeno vodka.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And then these are the three thieves.
Okay.
So this is a wine thief. This is a whiskey thief. So you take these, put them in the side of the barrel, and that's how you pull out your samples. And then this is the Dippin' Dog, very popular in Scotland. Take it to work with you sometime throughout the day, take it out, fill it up, and take it home and do some quality control tasting. So, and then the plate, that was Steve's buddy that's a military detonation specialist. So he took a printout of our logo on a piece of paper,
Okay.
put it on top of that piece of copper, put the detonation blanket on top of it, and exploded it. And when he did that, it imprinted our logo onto that piece of copper just from that piece of paper.
Cool.
Now don't adjust your volume because there isn't any problem. I just lost my sound on my recording. To be honest, I just forgot to turn on the switch on the microphone. Now what's happening is that actually the distiller is taking us back to show us where the grain is loaded in and then fed into the distillery or to the hoppers themselves. Now this happens to be the tower where the grains are loaded into, and then they're pushed through the PVC into the distillery and into the vats where they are boiled down to make it alcohol. Towards the end of the video, in the office scene, I was able to ask the distiller some questions which better explains what was going on when the mic was turned off and there was no sound. Now these are all the different casks that they use to age the alcohol, whether it's going to be gin, vodka, or rum. Now this is a special made cask that they use where it's made out of several different slats that they burn or treat in order to get the same consistency on a specific type of alcohol. It's a pretty interesting process. Unfortunately, I was unable to capture the sound. At this point, he's showing us the three different man-made casks that they do have, and as well as the process that they do for treating the wood. Now this is actually the bottling department where they do the labeling, the bottling, and packing of the different alcohols to send out to the retailers as well as to place in their own retail shop.
Is a brewery. We're basically making really bad corn beer. All right. Everything up here, though, becomes a distillery. Yeah, that's the blow-off tube right there. Actually, here. You can feel it coming out right there. Yeah. Then it'll start blowing out there. So right now, all we really have is really nasty corn beer. No one wants to drink that. I've drunk it occasionally, but no one wants to drink that. Once we get up here, though, we are in the distillery proper, all right? And everything we are doing comes to this point, all right? When we load up the mash into Annie here, our 500-gallon copper Holstein still.
Look at this.
Now, Annie here is an absolute workhorse. She is the most valuable employee every single month, all right? MVP 100%. We have a picture on the wall as employee of the month in the office right now. Yeah, so we probably should. Annie can make anything you can think of. Whiskey, gin, rum, vodka, brandy, neutral, everything, and she can make anything. All right? So, we load the mash up into there. We heat Annie all the way up. Alcohol vapor starts to evaporate off. It comes up the still head there, and it goes to one of three columns. All right? So let's say we're making whiskey or rum. There we go, let's make rum. So that rum vapor, that ethanol vapor, goes over here to the bottom of this second column, all right? So let's say a 10% beer, 10% molasses beer, passes through these columns in this here, and when it comes out at the end, it's 160 proof. One shot. All right, that's how powerful Annie is. Let's say we're doing a vodka. So once again, that corn beer goes into Annie. We heat her up. The vapor rises. It passes into the bottom of that bar column there with all those plates in it. And when it comes out, it's 195 proof. That's how strong she is. Yeah, she can even make gin. Are y'all gin drinkers?
Oh yeah, I am.
Oh, I love gin. Thank you. You're like the first person I've had in a while. It was like, I do enjoy gin. Everyone else is just kind of like making gagging motions.
Yeah. Gin's like an acquired. You either love it or you hate it.
I know, it's definitely love it or leave it.
Yeah.
So to make our Margot's a dry gin, which I recommend trying, we load Annie up with 40% alcohol, so vodka essentially. We redistill that vodka, the vapor rises up, and it passes through this column right here. And located inside the little hatch there is a beautiful, beautiful copper botanical basket. All right, the vapor passes through the botanicals, picks up that flavor, and it comes out at the end. And that's how we make gin around here. Like I said, Annie can do everything, all right? She's a workhorse.
And then you just wonder who created all this stuff.
It goes back to our Greek and Arab forefathers, you know, it's kind of insane.
Who came up with something so weird that you did this?
I know,
That's like,
the nerdy aspects of this industry are just what I love about it. You know, who created this stuff?
who created this stuff?
All right, let's head to the office actually. We'll wrap up there. Yeah, welcome to the office. It's an office. It's messy. I'm not going to apologize. But I really wanted to bring you on here, just kind of show you some of the operations, and to show you our gin blend. So this is all the botanicals that we're using. We're doing 17 different types of botanicals for our gin. Primarily juniper, of course, but you can kind of see some licorice root in there, a little bit of cardamom, some angelica. If you want to give it a smell, you're more than welcome to. It smells heavenly. Or to gin drinkers, it smells heavenly. To savages, it maybe it
Oh
doesn't.
yeah. Oh yeah. Kind of like trail mix.
No, so yeah, take a bite.
I know, I was like,
See what happens. And I also wanted to show you kind of some of the aging experiments we do around here as well. So like I said, we do kind of mess around with about 5 different types of oak wood. We have American oak, we have French oak, Hungarian oak, Brazilian oak, and then Mongolian oak. You can kind of tell which ones are the favorites. I'm an American oak guy, so it should be easy to figure out which one the boss likes. Yeah, he's a Mongolian oak fan. Practice more than I was an English major in college. All right,
oh really?
I'm uniquely unqualified for this job.
Yes.
But really, just look at the distiller's profile right here. Okay, there's 4 distinct cuts that we make. All right, that the typical distiller makes. This first teeny portion here, the 4 shots. All right, you've ever heard of like moonshiners like drinking their own stuff and going blind or dying,
Right.
or voting against their interests or something like that. That's the reason. That's what 4 shots are. All right, that's where the really harsh, really nasty methanols and things like that are located. All right, so we pull those off and we just dump those. We don't do a damn thing with them. Next portion is called the heads cut. All right. Now the heads cut also contains some pretty nasty chemicals, but nothing that's going to kill you. Just it's gonna give you a headache. You're going to say to yourself, I probably shouldn't have had that second one last night, or that 5th one for that matter. Okay, that's just those really nasty ketones, aldehydes. You can, once you taste them like pure off the still, you never forget the taste, and you can always identify a whiskey that's being a little bit too greedy on it. All right? That's kind of how you tell like a $30 bottle of whiskey versus like a $15 bottle of whiskey. All right, how much of that head's cut they're taking, and how much of that tail's cut they're putting in there. Now, this third portion though, the hearts, that's the good stuff. All right, that's the whole point of everything out there. Okay, that's the whole point of me standing with bags of corn, like dumping it into the mill, and just like, man, I want to go home soon. If I still got like 15 of these bags. All right, that's the whole point of this thing. The hearts cut is that ethanol plus all those flavory esters and congeners and fun things, like things that make rum into rum and whiskey into whiskey and brandy into brandy, I assume, things along those lines. Okay, that's the whole point of it. It's clean, it's tasty, it's refreshing. Don't drive while you're drinking it, obviously, but it's kind of the whole point of this business. And then this 4th and final one is called the tails cut. Now, there's nothing really all that wrong with the tails cut. It's mostly water at this point, okay? The issue is that there's some not so harsh chemicals in there that unfortunately have very bad smell. They don't smell chemically, they just smell like the south end of a northbound wet dog. All right, they smell very bad. So we don't even bother taking a tails cut, okay? We are very conservative with our hearts cut. We separate off the heads, and we recycle that back into the next batch. But we will stop our hearts before we even get close to the tails cut. Okay, there's good temperature measurements you can take to let you know when you're getting close to tails. All right, we don't even get close to tails. We just shut it down and empty it out for the day. All right. So when you taste our rye, our whiskey, or any of our spirits for that matter, they are clean, they are simple, and they're great for mixing, great for sipping neat, and great for blending. What, did y'all do your tasting before you got here? Or?
No.
We haven't done it.
Ooh, okay. Definitely try the dark rum for you. Definitely try the toasted coconut also.
Oh, that's what I like. The toast.
Copper Shot whiskey is really good. That's like a blend of orange, honey, and cinnamon with our corn whiskey. That's a good one as well. And definitely try the jalapeno vodka also.
Oh, I can't.
That's a
I
game
think
changer
I'm
right
gonna
there.
try that one.
Jalapeno
Or
vodka
one-
is beautiful. It's not spicy. It's just like, it's warm. It goes great in like a Bloody Mary, or we have ask Alana up front for some of the ginger tonic to go with it. It's delicious.
I'm after the butterscotch one. I don't know why. That's what I bought last year, and now I just had to come back to
There
it.
you go.
I emptied my bottle.
There you go. All right, guys. Any more questions I can answer?
Oh,
Now, the three types of barrels again that you showed us over there.
Okay, yeah. So that's American oak.
Okay.
So ex Buffalo Trace American oak, brand new charred American oak, and then the square barrels.
Okay.
All right, those are the three that we're working with primarily. The square barrels do have the Mongolian oak staves on them, and just variations of such. If I could, I would show you the rye whiskey tank. Right now we have like just one of those steel jugs
Sure.
we walk by. It's basically just full of white rye whiskey that we've been distilling. Right now in there is a couple of Mongolian oak staves that it just rests on before we actually put it into the American oak barrels
Sure.
next. Okay, just again, kind of a double oak kind of thing. We don't really like talk about it or bring it up. It's just one of those
Right,
little things that we
right.
do
Yeah.
to make our whiskey stand out a little bit more.
And then your grains loaded up out there
Yep,
outside.
and they are automatically augered to the bins.
Right. Okay.
And then that's where we're gonna. Then there's another auger system that we can use to transport them directly to the mash tun. So, kind of hands off for me, which is really nice.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. So then it goes into the big.
Yep, it goes
The
to the
one
mash.
that's got the
goes to
labels,
Yep,
or-
goes to the cooker.
Okay.
After the cooker, it goes to the fermenters.
Okay.
After the fermenters, it goes to the still, and then after that, it goes into the flask I bring to work every
Okay.
day.
And then the still was the one that was right out here.
Yes, sir. So it all kind of flows from the back.
Right.
Kind of flows
okay.
forward because no one really. If you're sitting at the bar, you don't want to see like the mill working and have this still all the way in the silo or something like that. You want to see the good stuff.
So what do you wash the bottles out with then when you put them on that bottle washer?
But I'll say first they're rinsed out with water, and then
Okay.
they're rinsed out with like a water low alcohol solution,
Okay,
just to
alright.
be on the safe side.
Yeah, because I think when we went through the Jim Beam, that's what they did is they
Yeah,
took the
most
bottle,
most
that
of the
was
bigger
running.
joints had the capacity to do it automatically.
Yeah.
We wanted to do it, so we just made sure that we had even just a manual bottle washer.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what we used when we went through and we got our own bottle. You paid for that, and then you put it on the bottle washer, and I thought
Right.
it looked like they were putting alcohol in it to wash
You
it
can
out.
see a little bit of the bead in there, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just a sanitary thing to do, and it doesn't hold the process up any, or at least not that much. We're still doing, 100 gallons of bottled product in less than maybe like 2 hours.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's not a bad. It's still an efficient process.
Okay, then these barrels out here, they're just for storage right now. They're
They
filled.
They
just
do have.
aging?
They are filled in there. So those will be. I want to say those are some of the whiskey ones.
Okay.
I have to look at my inventory. I did inventory on Tuesday, so I'd have to look at my inventory. But I want to say those are whiskey ones.
Okay.
You can kind of tell the older ones were put into the corner there because that was where a lot of free space was. And then as we filled up space, we've had to get
Yeah.
creative about where we put barrels.
And then how frequently do you bottle?
Just kind of depends. We'll do
Okay.
two. We'll generally wait till there's 2 batches that need to be bottled, just because we have the bottler going.
Yeah.
So we'll get 100 gallons versus 50 gallons
Yeah.
done. Otherwise, it's almost not even like worth coming in.
You bring somebody in special for that just to do that then?
The owner's wife.
Or wife? Okay.
She's a pro. She's probably better at the forklift
Yeah.
than I am.
And then one person does it all then?
No. So we'll all help out. It's a 2-person
Sure.
job essentially. Steve will be the owner. He'll be making himself useful between stations, but otherwise
Sure.
I'm washing and filling, she's capping and labeling and puts on the conveyor, and then we'll all kind of do.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah,
Well, you gotta do everything around
Very
here.
cool.
If you can't do everything, you're gonna do nothing.
very cool.
All right, well, folks, let's get you back up front.
Yep.
For your...
We then went to the tasting bar. At that point, they gave us 5 different shots of the alcohol of our choice. I was also able to try 2 different flavors of Bloody Mary mix as well. It's not overly priced, and it's well worth the trip to have the tour. I hope you enjoyed this look at the Loaded Cannon Distillery, and if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And most of all, thanks for watching.